Okay, hey y'all. It is Chanel.
In April.
Okay, so we're just kind of winging it right now. First of all, welcome to Banter Box.
Banter box.
And what we're going to be doing here basically is just kind of talking about any and everything. The hope is that we will have specific topics and we'll be able, to get feedback from you guys, do some live shows and have y'all call in or, comment on the live feeds or whatever. But so for right now, I think what we're going to talk about is daddy issues.
Okay.
And the reason we kind of decided that this was such a good topic is because there are so many different forms of daddy issues, but we only ever talk about when the father is absent from a young lady's life. But, April and I have discussed it and realized that there are definitely some other forms of daddy issues. So
I guess I'll start that off.
yes.
I think a lot of the daddy issues come from the daddies having issues. I think that so many of them have a goal or have a kind of standard in mind of what the man is supposed to be at home. 90% of that is providing. And in almost 99% of cases where that happens, there's tons of issues outside of the providing. And providing not just financially, even if they feel like they're just present in the home. Some of them think that that's enough.
Right.
Some of them feel like, okay, I'm home. You see me, I see you off to school. You got a roof over your head. You got some tennis shoes. Like, you got shit, so you should be okay. And that is a major problem.
Right.
It's so many different ways to be present. And I don't think guys get it.
So I guess at this point, it would probably be fair if we kind of get into some of the examples. And just in the spirit of being transparent, I've done videos before where it has either been my experience or someone else's experience, and I'm just kind of speaking on it or whatever. But I like to kind of let people know that I go through a lot of the things that a lot of other people go through as well. And even if I haven't learned from those experiences, the fact that I can relate to some, I feel like allows me to be able to speak on particular things, and daddy issues is one of them. So just kind of hopping right into that. My dad, the dog is about to jump on the table.
I'm looking. He's trying. Get down, Max.
My dad has been in my life all of my life, from 1982 all the way up to here. And I've always been in communication with him. And he was in the house with me until I moved out. Or was put out. That's a whole different segment.
Another set of issues.
So, hey, go upstairs.
Okay.
All right. So, one of the things that I've noticed is that me having my father in the home kind of was odd to a lot of other people. There were not a ton of other people that I knew who had that same experience. But my dad was physically there, but he was not so much of a positive force in my life that I would be able to refer to him. I feel like what I lacked in that instance was security. So for a lot of people who did not even know their fathers, it was really kind of sad that I could relate to some of their experiences, and my dad was right here. What's your thoughts?
I think security is major. That touches a major spot with me personally. In dealing with daddy issues, I realized that the first man that I fell in love with him for that security. My dad has also been in my life, my whole life. We have such a unique family structure that was totally out of the norm. And I saw him, but I didn't. He wasn't necessarily the provider in the house, but he was there emotionally. Like he's the dad who you can call, you can talk to, he'll listen, he'll guide you, he'll give you advice, all of those things. He was there for those qualities. But given my family structure, I realized that I wanted him to kind of put more effort in him and I. I know guys feel like, okay, I got kids, I got multiple baby mothers, they have different households. And that was my situation, but my dad made sure that he, like all of his kids in these households, knew him and that we all knew each other. So
I think knowing isn't as important as being what am I trying to say? Being involved,
yes,
basically.
Yes.
Because you can know your dad's first and last name. I mean, hell, you could be named after your father.
Yes.
But at the same time, what do you have to refer to once it's all said and done and you grow up and you look back and say, my dad did this. Right. And I feel like for a lot of us, what we miss is that we're saying my dad did this, but it's in a negative sense.
Right.
Like, what positivity has your father brought into your life where you feel like you have, positively benefited from? And, okay, so I guess to make it a little more specific, I believe that the type of relationship I had with my father definitely laid the groundwork for the types of relationships that I've been in.
Yes.
So in my house, my dad cooked and my dad worked, and that was pretty much it. My dad did not go to any of my parent-teacher conferences. So for me, when I got older, I felt like I had to be the one involved, in my daughter's life. I had to be, that constant element when it came to her education, or either of their educations. And then still with my dad being in the house but not being present, I feel like I've gotten into relationships with men where I had to pick up a lot of the slack. Because, again, my dad was there, but what was he actually doing?
Right.
The responsibility of the house, I could not attribute to that being done by my father. And that doesn't make him a bad man. That's just who he was at that time. But in my formidable years, if this is what I'm seeing, then I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to seek these men out, or when these men come into my life, I'm going to feel a slight obligation to deal with them because, in a sense, I have experience in dealing with the bullshit, basically.
So I definitely can relate to that. Again, my dad had multiple baby mothers, but he called them like, wives. They were his women. This is what he did. They were his women. He went to every house. He spent time at every house where they would see a man in the household, playing that role of the man. That didn't really go too long in my household with my mom, but it still, happened. And again, it goes to the security issue you were saying, because in accepting bullshit because I feel like, you know, given my family structure, given things I felt as a child coming up, in the midst of that, made me be a certain type of way towards my now structure with different kids, and you know, my kids have siblings from other women and things like that. And you know, you think, okay, is this the norm? Is this what you see? Is this okay? But I realized that I was also dealing and coping with that because he was, like I said, he was the first person who made me feel secure.
Your dad did?
My kid's dad.
Oh, okay.
Was the first person that made me feel secure. And that was a man actually saying, you mind this, you know, I want you, I need you, we're going to do this, I'm doing this with you. You know, all of those things I didn't necessarily feel with my dad. You know, I felt with my dad, it was just kind of go with the flow. Hey, come on, everybody.
Right.
All the kids come together. Let's, you know, do this. And it's so many other intricate details to go into that, but
because there's too much emphasis being placed on presence and not enough on involvement.
Exactly.
And so in that case, it probably made sense. Even for my dad, it probably was really important to him, or even if it wasn't important to him, but it probably in his mind should mean something to me that he was there all the time. And that was nowhere near enough, because when I ended up getting into really serious relationships, I ended up kind of getting into, again, what I was used to, confusion, because I could navigate through it. And I didn't want to be in those confusing situations, but in knowing how to deal with it, it almost kind of makes you feel like this is what you're supposed to be in.
Yes.
And that is one of the things that I admire about myself. And I think, you know, women, men, I mean, everybody really should definitely find something that they admire about themselves. And it isn't, in admiring something about yourself, it isn't putting down anything about anyone else.
Right.
So with that being said, what I admire about myself is that I didn't go through that tumultuous relationship with my oldest daughter's father for 5+ years, and basically ended up like my mom, just trying to find my footing in something that was so muddy that you would never be able to stand up straight in.
Right.
I knew that there was a way out. I knew that there was more solid ground. And I knew that even though I was used to seeing, you know, hell in the household, this is not what I was supposed to do. I could not find comfort in that. Like, you couldn't tell me that this man loved me for real.
And so many people take it so many different ways. Like, I've heard men say, oh, well, I love hard. You know, like, you know, my pain is love. You should know that I love you because I care, because I'm mad I'm allowing you to get me this upset. You know, so you should know that I love you and things like that. No, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Right.
You know, but also I think a lot of men are in denial about their daddy issues, you know, which ultimately incite mommy issues.
Yeah.
You know, all of these things are like connected.
I like to call that being nipple nurtured.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because you always have your daddy's girl and your mama's boys. And mamas are so nurturing to their sons because they want to really kind of cultivate that that son being in touch with his emotional side and being respectful to women and all these other things. But too often we ignore that these men that we're getting with don't have positive male influence in their lives. And not just positive male influence in their lives, because we all have uncles, we all had the older cousins, and or even our peer cousins
Right.
who, you know, we learn stuff from or whatever, our grandfathers. But what about when we're hooking up with men who don't have a relationship with their father?
Mm-hmm.
We need to know, why do you not have a relationship with your father?
Mm-hmm.
Was your father abusive to your mother? Because
Right.
if so, and you hate your father for it, how do I know that you're not going to end up being that same way to me? And not abusive necessarily with, you know, hitting, but just abusive in the way of not taking care of.
Right.
Like, how much of this relationship is going to be
Enough for
on
you.
me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then how much are you going to bear?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very true. And I think because we have the lack of communication,
Yeah.
that creates these issues. And
Yeah.
it also affects how people deliver. Like, I noticed that so many men feel like they have to deliver in a hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know how dogs, okay, they say this is dogs' nature,
Mm-hmm.
that wherever they are, they need to make it known they're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Around whatever dog. Any dog come up, okay, I'm about to challenge you, and you need to know that I'm that nigga, I'm the man, right? So with men delivering that way, not only to other men, but they have begun to deliver that way to women, you know, which goes into the whole women, the double standard thing in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because whereas men feel like, and I respect it, I love the man's role.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely love the man's role, and I love being a woman in my role, supportive of that male role.
But then how do we know what our role is? Because my mother did not teach me how to be a good girlfriend, a good fiance, a good
Right.
wife, a good mother.
I think some of those things come by nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things women, we can't help but do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't give a fuck how hard you are, what you lived through, or what you've been through. You're going to see that right child or that right circumstance that your mother instincts going to come in. Or your womanly instincts are going to come in.
Right.
And I think that it goes both ways because, like you said, some people see examples and say, okay, that's not what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I'm never going to do that. That's not going to be me.
Yeah.
And then some people feel that it's wrong, but because that's all they know, that's what they do. They didn't know anything else. They haven't been able to do anything else.
Right.
So it creates so much chaos because everybody's fucking lost.
Yeah.
Everybody is lost. Nobody has direction.
None.
Everybody's trying to figure themselves out on their own while proving that they're right, while proving that they're doing shit how it's supposed to be done, you know. And it's causing so many unnecessary divisions.
We are repeating the cycle.
Yes. And we don't have to, you know, but you found, and this goes back to what you and I were talking about earlier, the whole kind of knowing your role thing. Now, I have never seen so many men in tight pants and think that shit okay. Like, I'm you know, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging.
No. Are we really going to the store off the... my pants not tight enough.
Yes. I got to go back in and change.
It's too much. It's too much.
You.
I'm sick of it.
And because of that, though...
And they're going to job interviews like this.
They
booking our daughters like this. And this don't have nothing to do with... Like, I'm not saying this in a discriminatory sense at all. I hate to be the person that's like, oh, I got gay people in my family. Like, that's stupid. But... there are some things where I'm just like, are you doing this because it's the trend or because this is exactly who you are?
Exactly.
And then how do you know who you are? What did you come from?
Because everybody's looking at social media for some type of direction. Why? Because I think all this shit connected, okay? I think... The
all
daddies, yes, are being placed in jail or the struggle. Okay, so us 80s babies, right? When we came up, this drug shit was big. Like, everybody talk about the gun violence and all that stuff now. This shit been like this. That's nothing that has changed. Yeah. This shit has been way crazier before. I've seen it be crazier. As far as just walking down the street and shit happen.
I will never forget, just to interject real quick. All right, so I'm DC raised up until I was like 8.
Right.
And then I moved across the line to PG County. And I saw so much around Woodland. And then I saw so much around Berkshire, Forest Creek area. And I will never forget, minus the names, I was probably somewhere between, I'll say 10 and 13. I don't remember specifically. But I was cutting through my neighborhood to get to another neighborhood. And I had just heard that this dude had got killed. And this was somebody I was cool with. Like, his brother went to school with me, was, I think, a grade under me. But I saw him all the time. We would play football up at the field. And I remember being told earlier that day that my classmate's brother was shot in the head, and I went over there to that walkway between the neighborhoods, and I saw literal brain matter on the ground. I mean, and the thing is that even to this day, it doesn't affect me in a way where I'm like, oh my God, I saw brain matter. I'm just like, dang.
Shit real.
I really saw this man's brains. And when I tell you, people say this all the time, I just saw such as when I tell you I was standing at the building at the end of my row, like 2 days before that, talking to both of those brothers. And then to find out that this one had gotten killed like that, I mean, complete execution style. Where, to the point where I could go and see that this was there, was just like, this is where I live.
It's reality checks. And then, you know, we find ourselves now, like, I've heard people say my kids are sheltered now. And I think a lot of that comes from shit we saw like this back then. Now, to add to that, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have Instagram, Facebook, fucking YouTube. We had the box.
Yeah.
Which was
the
still like
TV.
Yes. And if you wanted to watch porn, you had to sneak and listen and turn your head to the scribble scrabble and shit on the box. Like, you know, you had to kind of go out your way to do real adult shit.
There were restrictions. There were boundaries. You had to work for it.
Yes, there's none.
None.
There are no boundaries.
There's no line in the sand regarding anything.
People, they say shit on primetime TV, 8:30 at night, 8 o'clock at night. They say bitch.
Yeah.
On TV, though.
And I remember, so like when Martin came out, okay, so he definitely said bitch on maybe 2 episodes.
Right. But it was the delivery.
It was just like, and even ass. You couldn't really say ass unless you was talking about a donkey or saying somebody was acting like an ass.
Yes.
But even then, it was so few and far between. But I remember when I first heard ass and bitch on Martin, it was just like, oh my God.
Yes, like we crossing
but
rivers.
The stuff that was shocking to us is
yes.
so normal to our kids right now. And that's why it is so scary being a parent in this era. I mean, it's like, I almost feel like I don't know how to parent because even with both of my parents in the household and me having the struggles that I did with them, and then you having the struggles that you did with your parents, a part of your parents' situation we'll talk about later.
Right.
But just having both of them in the house, I still feel like they could have never prepared me for all the shit that's going on right now. like we had, I don't know if you remember the Bunny Man.
Yes.
We had the vans, the red
Yes.
van, the white van,
Yes.
going through neighborhoods, supposedly taking kids and all
Snatching
this
you
stuff.
up. Mhm.
And when I tell you, I ain't never, ever, and these people were coming through my neighborhoods.
Mhm.
I've never encountered any of that because I was scared of my mother. When I tell you that scene off of What's Love Got to Do With It, when Ike told Tina if she died, he'd kill her,
Yes.
that was my mom.
Yes.
If something happened to me, my mom was gonna find me, hug me, and beat my ass.
Yes.
Like for
Yes.
real. But that was love. And if there
Right.
was never, if there was never a time where I could associate like physical abuse with love, it would be then.
Yeah.
Because I knew that my mother cared about me. I knew that she loved me. I knew that she was doing that because she's like, you're not going to break my heart.
Right.
You are not going to put me in a
Fail.
situation to where I have to worry so much about you that I can't get through the next damn day because you out here forgetting everything that I taught you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We can't, and then, it's the, I don't know, I've heard of helicopter parents, then we have lawnmower parents. I got an email from my son's high school about the principal wanting to have a meeting with the parents because the students are abusive to the teachers.
never.
The students bully the teachers. They intimidate the teachers.
Never.
Things like that. And we have so many people. That's what I was saying. So us 80 babies, we saw shit. We got our ass beat. We had rules. We had guidelines. It's morals there. Certain shit, when you were fucking up, when you were doing stuff wrong, when you were doing stuff that you had no business doing, you didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
You didn't go around boasting, putting on videos that you robbed
But
somebody,
now everything
that you raped
is
somebody,
documented.
it's ridiculous the pride that people take in the negativity that they do.
Yeah.
So many people are so proud of the fucked up shit they do. It makes no sense.
And they're getting the views. They're getting the views. And
they're getting
even
the
if you
support, they're getting
dislike
the
it,
money.
the fact that you're tuning in to the shit show
Yes.
is just letting them know that somebody wants to see this.
Yes.
This is why child pornography is
It's
as
at an
big
all-time
of a
high.
market as it is. It's
All-time
because
high.
you're not reporting it like you should.
Yes.
And then you don't even care about your kids. And it ain't no secret. This ain't new news.
Yeah.
Money is the root of all evil. If somebody can go out here and have your child perform a sexual act for $100 and gas is damn near $3 a gallon or more, your kid is going to be sold because
And it's
they needed
sad.
gas. You understand
Please,
what I'm saying?
I'm
Like
not
this-
laughing because it's funny, but this shit is sad. It's really sad, the measures that the parents, the fucking grandmothers on my age,
Yeah.
35.
Man.
35 years old grandmother. Come on now. Like, there's no wisdom there.
You can't
There's
even
no
call them
guidance
grandma.
there.
You
Yes,
can't
you
call
gotta
them
call
nana.
them-
It's just
No.
like
You might get away
crazy.
with mama, or you call their ass mom.
Yeah,
Because they playing.
Because grandma
the
gonna raise
role.
them any damn way. But then
So-
grandma's so young out here, and a lot of
What
them
they say,
burnt
she just
out.
want to eat crab legs and drink Moscato.
I mean,
That's
what really?
That's
That's
all the
her
grandmothers
ideal
wanna do.
off work itinerary. Chilling, ain't
So,
watching no babies.
It's just overall sad the lack of structure that we have in the household, and a lot of it stems from daddy issues or
It
parent
really
issues.
does.
A lot of it stems because people are confused.
Go back upstairs and figure it out.
People are confused. People are lazy, and nobody wants to be
Go ahead.
accountable. Nobody wants to be accountable for.
Oh my God, that's a whole other video. I
For
talk
the
about
shit that they're
accountability
doing.
all the time, and people really underestimate how important accountability is. Accountability,
It will completely
I'm telling you,
change a
it's the
situation.
groundwork for almost anything. I
Yes.
can't think of 5 things off top that accountability doesn't play a huge part in.
Yes.
You want your marriage to work? Accountability. You want your kids to be respectful?
Respectful, yes.
Accountability.
Yes.
You want the teachers to do their job and knowing that, okay, I can't mess around with this kid or whatever because their mother or father gonna come up here and slap shit out of me. Accountability. I mean, accountability is that you want to get out of debt. Accountability.
Yes.
Like it's.
Yes.
You hungry?
Yes.
Accountability. Accountability
Yes.
plays a huge part in everything. But so we're gonna get into our last 4 minutes.
Okay.
April is going to talk about Brandy's view, and then I will go on with my, I don't know what we're gonna call that. You said nails rant.
Yes.
Cause I stay ranting.
That perfectly sums her shit up, okay? Because you're going to get so many different emotions, and she's going to mentally talk this shit out herself.
Yes, I'm accountable though. I'm accountable.
Yes. She has the accountability.
Yes. All right. So okay, you can go into.
So what is Brandy's view? Brandy's view is just, to me, a bigger, broader perspective on little shit. You know, from your pose to your favorite soda to the worst outfit, the top album of 2019. I like to discuss everything. Your child not doing their homework, any parenting issues you may have, and just my view. Now, my view is not always positive, but it's not always negative, but I kind of, like to understand both sides. I'm very, very open to opinions, very open to different perspectives, because I feel like that's the only way we grow. And if you've never been through something, or you've never been through a certain situation, you won't know how you can affect it. So Brandy's view is simply that, my view. Brandy is a name I got from my dad, so that's my view on shit overall. Then Nail's rant is the same shit, just not as nice. I think it's a little more fuck everybody type vibe, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. I mean, we all get that. We all feel that sometimes, and we all need it. Going back to accountability, y'all. If you feel that shit, admit that shit. You're not ever gonna get over it if you don't face how you feel about shit. Right?
I agree.
If you're not able to man up to why you are doing what the fuck you doing and why you feeling what you feeling, shit is never gonna work out for you.
Never.
So, Nail's rant.
All right, so my rant is short. I'm gonna make it quick because, like I said, this is basically the flagship of more to come. We're going to be doing this weekly, and the videos will be somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes, and we're pretty much going to be trying to wrap up whatever we're feeling, thinking, whatever you guys tell us you want us to rap about, or like if it's something crazy blatant that's going on in entertainment or in news or whatever, or
Because,
even in our lives.
We are going to get on this R. Kelly shit.
Oh,
we
yeah.
are going to get on this Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on this 50 Cent Tierra Marie shit. Like, that's funny
Lord.
shit. Right there.
The ultimate troll.
Yes.
In my next life, I want to come back Jai-like as 50 Cent.
Yes.
Just Jai-like.
Love you, 50.
Yes. So, my rant real quick is that it has taken a long time for myself and April included to even get to the point where we bullshitted a lot on doing this.
8 years.
Yeah. So
It's been 8 years.
I mean, people have honestly been asking the both of us to get into this field. Just, hey, get on. And you're going to get a lot of this too.
Yes, I was going to say, this is real shit. This is real life.
All real. Like, we intend to do this raw until we get to the point where we can do it professionally, a little more, elegant sort or whatever. But we still going to always keep it real with y'all regardless. But like I said, we have been trying to do this for so long. At the request of a lot of other people, and then us just knowing ourselves and what we're good at and what we're tired of.
Yes.
This is something we knew that we had to do, and it was only right that I shared this experience with her.
Likewise.
So I definitely hope that we have given you all a little bit of insight into something and have garnered your attention enough that you would, tune back in, trust us with your emotions. Just know that we're not out here trying to bash anybody. We're trying to do what we need to do in order to get things off of our chest, but then also, to speak for other people who may not know how to get shit out. Just sidebar real quick, I am a survivor of domestic violence, and pretty soon, not even with however this expands, I do intend, I'm going on the record to say this. What's today?
March the 24th.
Okay, March 24th at, I don't know what time it is, but March 24th, 2019 at 4:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
I would like to hashtag putting a stop to domestic silence for future reference, and I will speak more on that. I intend to have banquets and brunches and award ceremonies, just all those types of events, because people talk a lot about support, but I feel like once you get into the Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement and, hands up, don't shoot, like a lot of these things end up being tainted. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part to kind of minister, in a sense, to things that I directly relate to. I don't want stuff to become so watered down that people can just start making fun of it.
People have a purpose. I think this right here is just us kind of coming into our purpose. We've always been perfect, in a sense. So I think that this is just us finally reaching out and being able to connect with people, because that's always been a gift of ours, being able to connect, being able to make other people comfortable enough to open up and release things as well.
Somebody kid gonna die in a second.
Yes. And we gonna watch.
Sick of them.
I think also that, us stepping out the box is going to be encouraging to other people. We are also open to letters, emails, all those type things. I forgot to mention that with Brandy's View. That's kind of like my goal, the shift that I'm going in. People will write in and we can dwell on that, and I'll give Brandy's view on that situation. But
your IG information.
My IG is absolutely_marvelous1, which will probably be changing soon because I'm on my Diddy shit a little bit. I'm feeling real love. So I was going to change it to April Love.
Okay.
I mean, because, people say that too. That's like a saying, April Love. You got that April Love, and it's about to be my time in a week, y'all.
You know what?
Yes, we about to take in all this love. And then I feel like, the world does need more of that, and it don't mean being mushy or kissing ass, but just being compassionate and thinking outside of yourself.
And my social media, my IG is open. It's I Just Can't. That's EYEJUSSKANT. And you can go on there for links, IGTV, all that type of stuff. This will be uploaded to IGTV and also uploaded to Mommy Likes to Cuss on Facebook. Which will probably be changed to Banter Box shortly. And
that's Debo, y'all. Max don't play, I'm telling you. A nigga just walked up in this house. Hold up, you just hold me, but why just let niggas walk up in here like that?
Maybe put him down to go bark at the man of the house. Like, he didn't start barking until I put him down.
Yes, see, you gotta let him do that.
Yes, okay, so that's my IG. Mommy Likes to Cuss for now on Facebook, and that's where y'all can reach me at.
So look out, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. I'm almost sure y'all gonna get some shit in between time because there's so much stuff going on, but then we can come as a collective on Sundays and give you guys a wrap up.
And again, we'll be doing live stuff soon. So
and we'll be having guests as well. They'll be coming on because we need to know you all's perspective. I like to get the men engaged if possible. We aren't strictly limited to PG-13 conversation. Excuse me.
Because I like to cuss.
Yes.
I don't say a lot of expletives, like the expletive for breast and vagina and penis. But when it comes to cussing, I got that down pat. Don't even worry about it.
So, yes, this is for adults. You know, I think teens can handle it, but we went into that censorship. You know, they can handle it. They can handle somebody saying, you know, get the fuck on somewhere, but you don't want to hear them about laying on your back fucking, you know. Different stuff.
Okay, bye. All right, kids interrupting. And we are out. Enjoy your week.
Banter Box, check it out. It's gonna be hot shit.
Yes.
Real shit, thorough shit, grown woman shit.
Yes.
Mommy shit.
Even daddy shit.
Even daddy shit.
Be quiet.
Bye, girl.
You be quiet.
We out.
Peace.